This program features live coverage of an African safari and may include animal kills and carcasses. Viewer discretion is advised.
A warm welcome to a beautiful morning here at andBeyond in Ngala. And we were so lucky this morning we were able to find a big elephant bull that's slowly feeding. I just want to be like a bit quiet for the next little while. You'll hear there's some hyenas calling in the background. You just hear the swoop like whoop, whoop. But also, you might even hear the elephant as it's breaking some of the branches. But I just want to encourage everyone to hop on board on this live safari and join us here in the African bush. Out, we basically decided to come and stop here where this elephant is, and while we're listening and watching him feeding, we can also listen out for any other sounds that might be in the area. But for now, you can hear how he's carefully maneuvering that trunk, like breaking some of the trees, stripping the leaves and putting that into his mouth. So I'm NIKKI here at andBeyond in Ngala, and with me on the camera this morning is Owen. So for now, with this elephant, I just want to see where it's off to. It looks like there might be one. And so often with elephants in particular, if you just find one of them in an area, it might just be a bull, because sometimes the females will be in the bigger herds, or maybe there'll be 3 or 4 or more together. Males they form these bachelor herds, and there could be a few of them together, but often if you find just one by itself, most likely going to be a male. You might just see the silhouette of the trunk. It's still quite dark this morning, but you'll notice as he's stretching up his head, like maneuvering his trunk around that branch, he'll almost grab it and then use those tusks in order to break that branch off to get to some of the leaves. Just want to also say to all the viewers, thank you so much for those who've wished me wished me happy birthday yesterday, and for all your amazing comments. We just wanted to say thank you very much for all of that. And please, if there's any questions, feel free to ask them. And as we said, if we don't know the answer, we'll try our absolute best to get back to them as soon as we possibly can. It's just such a lovely day. I mean, look at the different hues of colors in the back, like this white and pink. And then as soon as you get back to the elephant, it's really hard to distinguish the different colors. You might just see little flashes of green, maybe a bit of brown, and then some green, and then the darker shades in the back, and of course the big gray, darkish body of the elephant. I can just imagine with a bull this size, he'll probably need to eat quite a bit of like food a day, and his diet will probably consist out of a lot of grass, quite a bit of leaves. Maybe he'll strip the bark off a tree, maybe push over the tree to get to the roots. But eventually from here on, as he's feeding, he'll slowly feed until it starts warming up, and from there on he'll start heading down towards the water to go and have a drink. And then probably from there on start feeding again. I think I know with an elephant, most of its time is going to be around feeding. Because imagine having a body like this that probably weighs close to around about 5 tons. The amount of food that you need to consume in order to keep that body going is incredible. You'll even notice with in the back of this elephant there was a little bird that just flew around, quite small, dark. It just flew over the elephant. I don't know. Oh, there we go. He's at the top of the screen there. So that's from a fork-tailed drongo. So he's just basically waiting for this elephant to flush some insects so he can have some breakfast as well with the elephant. But in the meantime, while we're going to sit here, myself and Owen, for the next little while, let's send you across to Raymond at Djuma to say good morning.
Good morning, everybody. We are at Djuma Private Game Reserve. We had a wonderful day. I'm very much sure that you did enjoy the elephant through to you site. So my name is Raymond, together with Nils on the camera. So we would like to wait a little bit on this. Yes, we want to wait a little bit on this hyena to see what is happening. I'm sure that you did enjoy the elephant. So you're welcome to ask any question or comments on #WildEarth or on YouTube. So right over here, this hyena, it's keep on sniffing. Doesn't show us exactly whatever it's relaxing or it's waiting for something to happen. So we'll wait a little bit. If we see something or any action about this hyena, if it doesn't show us anything, therefore we'll move. Just a silence of a moment, a little bit, if it will tell us or whatever. Yes, Tom, it's sleepy hyenas at this moment, but it was sniffing show us that direction, and that's why we're also waiting right over here to see if it is a really something very close or whatever, because we can't have a something. Okay, we will be moved soon if this hyena is not moving. I hope you did enjoy the elephant and the hyenas as well. We want to try to relocate that side of audio of lions this morning. We want to take that road around, moving together.
I like to start the morning, and I'm sure that's how you like to start the morning too. My name is TRISHALA, and I've got Theo on camera this morning with me. It's TNT. this morning, and we are hoping that we'll find lots out here. Now, I'm also taking this opportunity to just kind of sit and wait and listen, but I haven't heard any alarm calls yet again after the beginning of drive. Now, hopefully we'll get another call very, very soon. It's quite chilly, 8 degrees Celsius, 47 degrees Fahrenheit, but still better than the other days. I think spring is coming along. Nothing. Really want to hear those alarm calls, because those alarm calls tell us that right now, at this moment, the antelope can smell or see or hear a predator. With tracks, you're always just a few steps behind that animal, or a few minutes, or even a few hours. So alarm calls at this time of the morning is exactly what we need. Now, Tlalamba was seen on the dam cam, so potentially we could find her, which would be awesome. I would love to see our princess. I'm sure you guys would too. Not hearing any alarm calls anymore. And I also TNT when we went drive together. Now Theo and I, another TNT. It's going to be explosive, everyone. Explosive. But in order for us to be explosive, we need to get a move on. So, hope you're all strapped in well. It's going to be a bumpy ride, especially towards the end of this road. Alright, while I get a move on, off to DUMI you go. He wants to say good morning.
Good morning, everyone. This is Djuma from andBeyond Phinda Private Game Reserve. As you can see, Master's right behind the camera, and we just located a cheetah and 2 cubs. You can see, beautiful morning up here. There. Wow, look at that! It's just sniffing on the ground. Apparently, 2 days ago they've killed an impala here, but now the cub is busy licking some, looks like some leftover from here. I can't see quite well in there because it's a bush behind us. Looks like must be like stomach contact or something, because sometimes cheetah does. They can eat like dung of the animals as well, help for the digestion as well. So it looks like, let me scan the binocular and see what exactly, yeah, definitely that's the stomach contact. That was a leftover from them 2 days ago. Actually nothing wasted in a while, so they come back again. Normally cheetah doesn't go back on an old carcass. I think it's just because they're passing by. They pick up a smell, and then they're checking up what is actually was left over there. So they cleaning up the leftover, which is not normal for the cheetah. But you can see they like kind of checking around if there's any dangerous. It might be any other cat, being like leopard or lions, because no bones I can see. If it was only them, there'll be a lot of bones still lying down. Glenn, yeah, cheetah, lovely animal. Yeah, looks like they're a bit more worried, the little one. He's still checking. Maybe some of the big cats have been here before, after them, checking some leftover from them. Maybe they pick up a smell. That's why the other one is like, yeah, I said, no, I'm going to go to my mom. Yeah, the mother, she's up ahead. She's... Yeah, well, it looks like the mom, she's still continuing hunting. We'll stay with her and see what gonna ending up doing.
Welcome to Pride Lands. We are watching an awesome golden sunrise as we drive around looking for signs of some lions that were calling earlier. Any tracks, any signs, even the sound of them would set us on an adventure this morning. Can't wait to see what this morning brings us. I am Michael Anderson, and behind the camera is Gert. As always, we welcome you to Eco Training Pridelands Conservancy. And as I mentioned just now, this morning as we were waking up, we heard lions calling in the northern parts of Pridelands, which is where we are now. So we're just driving around to see if we might be able to find signs of them. I know at some point last night they sounded quite close. So on a cold morning like this, they'll be calling, maybe moving around, marking their territorial boundaries. But absolutely just a wonderful time just to watch the sunrise and listen, because it's very quiet. So of course, sounds are traveling beautifully in these bushveld areas. And we know there was at least 3 different groups of lions calling last night. Maybe reaffirming their territory boundaries. A group to the north, one to the northeast, and then a single animal calling not so far from us. What a beautiful, beautiful sunrise. Well, we're going to send you over to Raymond, who's got some hyenas.
Thanks, Mike. I believe that you were still on in live. So we had a wonderful hyena right over there, together with the sunrise. It looks so gorgeous. Those hyenas, they're still around right over here. It seems as to me that there was something to eat. Look at the belly, that one. The belly is full, that they did enjoy something. So, but we can't manage to find out exactly where that is. And they just move around in this area. So we're trying to relocate it, if we might see something which is very good, or to see where the carcass is. But we can't see nothing at this moment, but the bellies are full. So they just move around, move around, move around, sniffing, sniffing. So we'll keep a minute together with them in order to see if it is something. If you can look clearly, that one in front, the belly is full. Jackie, that is a good question. The hyena are scavenging most of the time. As they are scavenging, I would say they never get full, because if there is something left, they take it straight to their den to reserve it. So they can last for 2 to 3 days without eating, but they are very, very strong on hunting, because as they are scavenging, they don't know when are they going to get something to eat again. So if it's anything left, they will have to take it straight to their den. That in case they fail to get something, they walk back to the den in order to get something to eat as well. They do kill, but not always. I would say it's a semi-scavenging. So to kill for them, they see that animal, maybe it's injured. So they call each other to make huge, so therefore they can manage to win. One hyena doesn't approach any animal to kill. They're a little bit coward. Thank you. I'll try to be on alliance if lucky.
So I really hope Raymond is able to find those lions. We've been very lucky this morning. As we were driving away from that elephant, we came down another road near the river, and we managed to find quite a few lions. When I say a few, there's probably around 5. Now, just looking at them, it does look like a pride that has probably come from the eastern side of the reserve. And pretty soon I'll just grab a map to show everyone. I think before we head back to those lions, I just wanted to take an opportunity just so that everyone can see more or less where these lions are from. Just want to grab out my map and then alright, here we go. So we are currently, just to give you an idea, we are roundabout right over here. So we're on the eastern side. So this is east on this side here. This is west, this is south, and this is north. So we basically right over here. And the Greater Kruger area is on this side here, and then of course the Timbavati here. So we're right in the middle of these two. Now this pride where we found him now is right over here on the side of the map, so on the eastern side. So bearing in mind, I'm not too sure which lions they might be. I think they are from a pride that we often, well not often, we do see them in the area, but their territory mainly stretches in this area here. And now and again they'll move into this part here and then move out again. And normally that pride is a lot bigger than the one that we're seeing now, because there's only 5 here. But what my opinion would be is that this is probably a breakaway from this initial pride that often occurs in this area. So have a look at this one male that just lifted its head. You'll notice there's quite a bit of mane already. There's not a lot of mane on the head, but around the neck there's quite a bit. So they are older than those younger males within the Birmingham pride, but not as old as that Birmingham young male that has the limp that's around about over 4 years. So I think based on what we're seeing here, the facial features, the mane on top of the head, around the neck, probably be safe to say that these young males are probably around 2.5, maybe anywhere from 2 to 3 years old. And it's only going to be around about at 4.5, 5 years when they're going to have a really impressive mane. And I could see 2 of them. You'll notice with the males, look at that one there, the color of the back. You'll notice it's a lot of gray and dark colors. Now if we go to the females that are in the road, the one just lifted up her head, look at the difference in color. They have more of a sandy, brownish color in comparison to the males. But have a look at that one that is now sitting up. The way she's positioned, if you look at the ears pointed forward, look at the muscles. I mean, this is an animal that sleeps nearly 20 hours a day and only moves whenever it needs to move. And look at how muscular she is. Almost makes me think, what are we doing wrong? But very elegant. You can see the way she's tucked those back feet in under herself. And I wonder if it's maybe a bird that's moved in front of her, maybe an impala. You'll notice that all of them have a pretty big belly, so that I'm sure they made a kill during the evening, or maybe yesterday afternoon, or even early this morning. But because they are lions and they're very opportunistic, if there is an opportunity to present itself, they will definitely try and give it another go. And I can imagine that this lioness and the one right next to her must be related somewhere, maybe 2 sisters, and they're the ones that are most likely leading this pride. Tell me those are really big bellies. Almost look like they swallowed another lion. You'll even notice, like, often with lions, whenever they do eat a lot of food, they are very uncomfortable if they like lie on their side. So often they lie on their back with their feet splayed open like the one you see here, and it's a little bit more comfortable. And often seeing a big pride in tall grass, you'll notice the white bellies and then just these little feet sticking up above the grass. But see, with this one, I don't know if everyone noticed, but there were quite a few spots on the feet and on the inner side towards the belly. If we head back there, have a look. See, there's some spots quite near the feet, up towards the belly, those little brown patches. Now, it's hard to say, it's not always the case, but a very good indication is that often when they're young, they have quite a bit of spots, and as they get older, especially the males, they'll start losing it. Now, if you look at that one, and then just left of that, have a look at that one as well, with the spots over, or like on the legs as well as the belly. So as they get older, they start losing it. So it still tells us that they are young lions. Because if you would now go back to the females, you'll notice there's barely any spots. Some might carry the spots for a little bit longer, but in general, the older they get, the more they start losing those spots. Look at those females there. Snazzy, with the mane, they'll start, especially the young males, they'll start showing it around about at the age of 7, 8 months. Then you can start distinguishing between the males and the females by the mane in general, because you'll see there's quite a lot of fluff under the neck of the young males. But once they get to around about 1.5 years, 2 years, that's when the mane really starts developing. And it doesn't look always as great when they get to those ages because they don't have a full mane. It's only under the neck where the majority of the mane would be. And then as they get to around about 4.5, 5 years, that's when they start developing their full mane over their head, behind their neck. And normally after 6.5 years, that's when they have a fully developed mane. That one lioness that was in the road, she just got up and probably just moving back into a bit of shade. But while we are going to sit here and just enjoy this for the next little while and see where they might be off to, let's go and have a look what Djuma is doing at the moment, because he's with one of my favorite animals, the cheetah.
Welcome back, everyone. We still here with our beautiful cheetahs. As you can see, they start actually moving again. The mom, she was like trying to hunt, but she missed already. The Ngala, they were lambing. Now she come back to her cubs, so we're gonna start to following them and see if we can catch up with them. Okay. As you can see, the mom, she's quite active at the moment because it's still nice and cooler. This is a very good time for them to be able to hunt until it starts getting a bit more warmer, and then she'll start rest. We do have two dominant males in the reserve, in a southern part of the reserve, which is the father of these cubs. But they don't stick with the female of the cubs. They will be all by themselves. We do have a dominant male. Wow, look at the way they're walking through to these bushes, and a little bit more open down here. If you look further up, there's a bit more koppies as well, part of the mountain. It's amazing to see this cheetah. They can hunt in here into this kind of bushes like this, even up in the rocky areas. Yeah, when you look at this, everyone, they're expecting to see cheetah hunting in a very open area, but this cheetah here, they are adept to hunt in this kind of environment, which is amazing to see how they can do it. They can still hunt, make a kill between these bushes. It's amazing. I think she's just taking a rest for now after all this running she was doing. Wow. So that's amazing to see, and she hasn't lost confidence. She's still, I think she still wants to go back where she were earlier. Wow, lovely. Look at that face. I think the place we are at the moment, this is where she had Impala 2 days ago. It's amazing to see they're still comfortable in the same area. Normally they're a bit more nervous if they come back in a place where they had killed before, which means there haven't been much of activity with other predators in this area. As you can see, even the cubs, they're going back to scratch whatever's been left over. So it's a lovely morning and nice wind blowing towards the direction where they're hunting. Let's hope they... Oh, now she's gonna take a rest for a little while, and she's gonna make a decision after she rests for a bit. And the cubs as well, they're gonna do like mom does. Wow, look at this one. Yeah, we'll just stay with them as they're still resting for now. See what they do.
So much excitement. I'm watching this wonderful impala ram. See if he has any messages for me, such as an alarm call. He's staring out towards Viatella Dam. He's on quarantine. No, but he's chewing. Isn't he beautiful? So he's grinding and grinding and grinding. That cud, because he hasn't been feeding, he's just been standing here. Let's see if we can watch him swallow and then throw up another one. It's very important. Oh, there it goes down. Let's see if he'll get another one up. Ah, there it is. Did you see that? I love watching them when they're ruminating. Kelly, you say his fur looks so soft? It's because he's puffing himself up via a mechanism called piloerection. Lifts up all his little hairs with tiny, tiny, tiny little muscles at the base of each hair, so he can keep warm. He looks in great condition. Now that the rut is over, you'll find that males are looking a lot better as they lose condition during the rut, but thankfully for him, he seems to have come out on top.
WildEarth relies on support from viewers like you to carry on broadcasting our daily live shows. A small donation goes a long way in helping us on our mission to connect the world with nature. Please visit our support page to see how you can help and become part of the WildEarth family.
Yes, indeed, I believe that we were enjoying the impalas. Now we are having the elephant, just a small head of elephant, together with the young ones. It's a breeding head. They are very relaxed as they show their braveness. They are busy grazing and browsing, eating everything. You can see the trunk, while it's doing like this, is taking the soil off in order to manage to eat their grass clean. It's cleaning. That's a female one. That's easy to identify the female and the male through to the head and the tusk. Yes, indeed. It's very nice. Those animals, they don't rush. They're choosing what they want to eat. Mostly they like this one have got some moisture. can listen carefully, you can hear the sound of breaking the branches, waving the trees. Nice audio of nature. Yes, Richard, it is true, but definitely because the elephant don't know its mom, and it's sort of like a family. Sometimes you can find the young ones together with its sisters playing together, and if the mom, they know exactly which mom it is, and they know which one it belongs to. They do have a family, so it is obvious that they can make some greetings.
Can you explain the greeting?
So their greetings is just only to touch each other, sniffing, taking the trunk up, touching together, sort of like a wonderful welcome for each and everyone. If someone was a little bit away together, so therefore when it comes, they like to evenly to check if it is really by smelling, that the smelling is still, as all animals, they don't know each other exactly by facial. They also have got a smelling to smell it is one of us or not. So you can see evenly that one, he just come and greet his baby and take his baby outside. Baby, come, let's go.
Tracks to a female leopard.
As we're going to stay together with the elephant, we'll just only change the direction for a while.
Welcome back, everyone. We just got a cheetah again. They just start running. Looks like the mother, she just spotted something across over these bushes over there. We can't see, but it might be some Ngala hanging around there. We were trying to stay with her and follow up, see what she does. Okay, well, just going before we lost her. Yeah, looks like it must be something interesting in what she spotted there. Maybe some Ngala or Impala. Because earlier on she were trying to hunt there, but I heard some alarm calling of Ngala. Maybe she spotted those Ngala, maybe they didn't run away from her. We'll try. We just lost her video for now. We'll try and see if we can find her again. Guys, this is excitement. For now, we're just trying our best to find her. We'll try and loop around. And also, I don't see any movement somewhere, but they have very good eyesight, cheetahs. So let's see if we come around. Let's see if we can get some. Maybe so we'll see some. Safari lover, cheetah. They only depending on their own kill. Unless if they're in an enclosure, but if they're in a wild like this, they're trying their best to avoid any of their dead carcass, because they don't. The reason why, because they don't know who kills that. They don't want to put themselves in danger. Safari lover. Yeah, the cops are just crossing the road. The mom, she head that direction, and from here we won't be able to follow. We were trying to move back a little bit and then see if we can get another view from the mom. Looks like we're losing the cubs visual as well. We're trying to move back and see if we can find them again.
Yes, indeed, I do believe that it is true. It is Fan's head. I just want to move a little bit forward that we can manage to view here exactly. So, because now it's a little bit camouflaged. So they don't want to relax a little bit today. It seems as maybe as it was for a while. So they're getting afraid of the vehicle. So they just move over because maybe they split it together. Some they are far, some they are far. So they want to join together in order to have full protection. So I want to reposition again a little bit, sorry. I want to move back. Will tell me it's okay. Yes, Anna Marie, it is indeed, it is very nice. She's almost relaxing. You can get closer as much as it is. She's used to the people and she's old as well. So she can manage to control the head. As the head led by the female one, she have got that opportunity to lead. Yes, Megan?
Morning station, Ngala.
Sorry, it was sort of like a radio for me. Yes, they are on a mission. It seems it's a big head. I also heard another audio of the breaking branches and south of south of where we are on this position. And it seems as there are plenty. It's a big head. Yes, they are eating, as the elephant eating everything. They're breaking branches, pulling the grasses, cleaning, eating. Try to move a little bit slowly together in order to protect each other. Yes, if you can enjoy the elephant almost the whole day, if you be very close to them, see how they are feeding themselves. and the communication. They do communicate together. Yes, we're gonna move to try to relocate our audio of the lines as soon as possible.
Talking about the audio of the line, so eventually we left that pride that we saw earlier, so the bellies are quite full. They're not going to be heading anywhere pretty soon, but Richard and Ernie, so they're the two trackers that headed out this morning to go and see if there's any other animals they could possibly help us to find, and they've given us some news, but unfortunately I can't share it with you as of yet, but it'll probably take us 5 maybe to 10 minutes to get there, and hopefully no guarantee that whatever we are hoping to see would be there. So it is an exciting part. That's why we left those lines, but yet again we can always go back to them this afternoon. I don't think they're going to be heading anywhere pretty soon, knowing that their bellies are so full, and there's just another surprise waiting for us. The reason why we had to go is because this is the early part of the morning, so we might get it, we might not get it, but we just have to go risk it for the biscuit and see if we can find whatever the trackers are wanting to show us this morning. So that's where we're heading off to. But this is very, very exciting. I think that's one of my favorite things about a game drive, is because each and every corner that you take as you like venture down into this beautiful road into this African bush, it's like you don't know what you're going to find. I mean, the one day we can find a herd of 50 elephants, the next day we might find nothing. We'll only find some zebra, maybe wildebeest, then we could find leopard, maybe a civet, caracal. But it's that unknown that really motivates us to get up in the morning. So, not too far, but in the meantime, while we're still carrying on to go and see if we can get this, let's send you across to TRISHALA.
I am up to much. I see a duiker at the end of the dam wall. To the right. Hello there. Now I've seen tracks for Tlalamba. Heading south in Twin Dams. But they've actually cut across the drainage and would probably come out on Central. So that's where I'm headed to now. And I also heard these faint sort of growls. When I was on Twin Dams Road. It sounded very much like a rumbling tummy, and it was neither mine or Theo's. I'm watching this lovely little duiker for 2 reasons. One, it's gorgeous to see them around. I think I've been seeing more steenbok than I've been seeing duiker. And so it can give me a clue if it sees something down there, because it's looking down into the drainage where I saw those tracks go in. Tiger cubs, you'd like to know this is some kind of baby animal. It's not some kind of baby animal, it is a lovely duiker. So a duiker is quite a small antelope, as you can see, and this is an adult. It's an adult male. You can see 2 horns. Sometimes in the center they have a little tuft of hair, especially the females, though I have seen a male with a tuft plus 2 horns. It made him look like he's got 3 horns. This one is very relaxed. duikers can be quite skittish. So it's really nice to see this one and have a good sighting of it, actually. Come on, give us a clue. No. So the only one you'd see that's smaller than this one, or than this antelope, is a steenbok, which is about 11 kgs, while a duiker is about 17, between 16 and 19 kgs. So it is pretty small. Alright, off it goes down to the dam. Perhaps it'll go and drink. Shall we have a quick look? We're not going to go too far ahead because we don't want to scare it. Whenever animals come to a water hole to drink, it's a very vulnerable position for them. Oh. And it's tucked down into the drainage. Oh well, that was a nice duiker sighting. But I'm going to send you over to Ngala with a fluffy surprise for you.
There's a lot of our viewers have been asking about what happened to the 2 young cubs and the young female. So here we are, after quite a while where we haven't been able to show them on camera. We were so lucky this morning, Richard and Annie, as they were tracking, they found her, and as they got closer, they saw the young cubs just behind her. So they're all in good spirits and looking good. Of course, brother and sister early in the morning. First it's time to play. Probably had a nice drink from mom, and now it's playtime. Just going to grab the binoculars to see if this is the young male or female. It looks like the young male based on the tail. Sorry. Yeah, it is the young male. But how beautiful is the light on these lions? Karen, they have grown quite a bit. I need to say, like, if you... The other day I was quite surprised because you see the one that's now biting the other one on the back? So the the one closer to mom is the young female. So that one close to mom now is the young female. And the young male is the one in the back. And the other day, or yesterday, we actually started tracking them into this area, and I couldn't believe the size of that young male's tracks already. It's already bigger than that of his sister. It's just an amazing sighting. That's why when we heard about these, we decided, okay, like every animal is special. And I knew there was other lions wouldn't move in the next little while. But we also knew that, or we know that these particular ones haven't been seen in quite a while. So we thought, let's just go there. Because I also remember a lot of viewers have been asking about these little ones. Are they okay? Have they joined up with the Pride? What's happening with them? But I'm also so happy to see them here and still see that they are alive, because often it's hard. I mean, with lion cubs, it's not an easy phase that they're on in their life. So most statistics will show that lions, probably 80% of all lions, won't make it to the age of 2 years. And especially with females that have their first litter. And for her, she's been doing so well in order to look after them. And they look like they're in a really good condition. They might look a bit skinny here and there around the edges, but that's part of their whole growing up at the moment. But even if you look at her, look at how, even her condition, she's in really good condition. Fine, not too sure with that tail. So, since the very first time we saw the cubs, we saw the tail was like that. And not too sure if it was mum picking it up by the tail, or maybe it was the sister and him playing. I'm not too sure how that all happened, but I remember from the very first time we saw him, he had that little patch missing on the tail, and the young sister actually has a patch missing above her tail on her back. You'll notice she's now the one that's lying close to Mom, but if she stands up, I would like to point out, it's like this little patch that's missing, and also not too sure how that happened. Maybe it could have been from when the Pride joined up, but even then beforehand, before she even brought the cubs to be joined up to the Pride, that young male already had that part of his tail missing. So not too sure how that all happened. So from one set of cubs with lions, apparently DUMI at Phinda also has some cheetah cubs. Let's head across there and have a look.
Welcome back again. Hey, we just located the cheetah again, but now she's just gone settled down for a bit, because after this she's been chasing something, but she didn't get lucky for this time. So as you can see, they're all both looking the opposite direction, because they're making sure there's no dangers coming around, because they've been running across here. And the mom, she finally called the cubs, and now the cubs are also sitting down next to the mom. She looks like she must be continuing again hunting. The problem now that she's been disturbing all the Ngala they were around here. She might move a little bit further again, trying again. I don't know, I'm not quite sure how much longer she's going to be sitting down here, but we'll wait and see what she does from here, and because this is a good time for her to be still hunting, continue hunting, because it's nice and cooler. As you can see, a little bit of wind blowing. It shows it's a very nice breeze for them, because cheetah, they don't like too much heat. Look at the cubs, their face are amazing. Look the way they're closing their eyes. It's so cool to watch this animal. It's lovely to see them change direction to direction. The way where they were earlier on, she completely changed their main direction to what she was leading, because she spotted some Ngala earlier. Alex, yeah, they have to be for sure, because otherwise you can easily miss out everything what's happening, Alex. Okay, so she's licking herself, cleaning herself, making sure. Yeah, look at the way they're just sitting now. Well, because we're not too sure how much longer they're gonna be here. Well, like always, patience always help. We'll stay with them.
Good morning, and it is nothing but a good morning out here at Tswalu Kalahari. Chandra is giving me the hairy eyeball. And I'll tell you why. Because when you're working at the long end of the lens, like we were looking at that shell duck, and I'm standing on the vehicle, any little movement translates into a massive movement over there. So anyway, it is an amazing morning out here at Tswalu Kalahari. Old Master Chandra doing his magic there on the camera again, and my name's Dylan. It is fantastic having you with. So, as always, our plan this morning is going to be wildcat, and I said to Chandra, we are not going anywhere until we find a wildcat this morning. I don't care how we do it, where we do it, but we're going to find one. Touch wood. And then we'll pop up to the meerkats. Well, we'll see. I think we should pop up to the meerkats because they're really cute. And then this afternoon, coming back to old Sheldon Shelby sitting over there. You see him tucked away on the far bank, just doing his thing. We are doing a stakeout for the entire drive this afternoon. So those of you who want to join us for that, it may just prove to be exceptionally good, or it may prove to be quite quiet. But anyway, you guys can decide if you want to join us for that or not. Absolutely no pressure. I know where you all live. I will find you those who don't join us. Yeah, no, I think it should be a really, really fun afternoon. And I might just like pick up a couple of, show and tell objects that we'll keep with us I'll make like a little blind for us as well. So I'll pick up a couple of objects that we'll take with. So even if we don't get any actual activity on the shell ducks, we'll still have something to talk about. But I'm really hoping that even if we just get a sighting of Sheldon or Shelley maybe coming out the nest, I don't know if we will. It's a long, long, long shot, but it'll still be fun doing it anyway. But yeah, this is just such a beautiful morning out here, and I've got a good feeling again. I have a good feeling every morning, and I don't know why that is. I think maybe it's just being out here. Megan says, ooh, a stakeout. The stakeouts are like my favorite because, it's always fun driving around because you see different areas and that kind of stuff. But to sit quietly in one spot is probably the single best thing that you can ever do in the bush. And it doesn't matter where you are. You could be in a forest in Germany. You could be in a redwood forest in the States, or somewhere in South America, or somewhere in Australia. Louis the Lion says, I had him at the word steak. Make no mistake. Yeah. But yeah, this is going to be good. I'm just loving these reflections on these lapwings over here. Right on the edge of the water, there's some gorgeous little blacksmith lapwings, and look at those reflections, eh? That's stunning. It's just after little invertebrates. Yeah, I think we're going to head on slowly, and we're just going to amble up and down, and let's see if we get that wildcat. It's a long shot, and maybe we'll go to the meerkats, maybe we won't, but I'll decide that later.
You'll notice in the background there's quite a few baboons making a commotion, and you'll see how the youngsters are actually pitching the ears in that direction. So it sounded like there was a bit of tension probably within that troop of baboons, and of course probably some of the dominant males just had to reaffirm the hierarchy amongst the troop. But you can see the female's not too fussed with all the noise. From a very playful mood, they've gone and decided to lie down quite a bit, because often with young lion cubs, if they're left by themselves, in this particular area, we haven't noticed too much interaction with baboons, but in some areas, the baboons could potentially kill these young cubs. Not these particular ones, but young cubs in general. And so often when these baboons, they'll be as quiet as they possibly can. And if they're in a dense area, they won't move, they won't make any noise, just so that they're not detected. There's an impala. So this lioness is actually looking at an impala at the moment that's on the ridge of the riverbed. Just notice her where she's currently scanning in that direction. So we just saw impala walking along the ridge there. Maybe it's feeding at the top. If this lioness decides to go around to the impala, we're not going to move. There she goes. Look at her. We're not going to move. We're just going to sit here because we don't want to disturb her hunt at all. So let's just be quiet for the next little while. Rachel, they are absolutely adorable. So that impala has no idea this lioness is here. She's moving closer and closer. So I might be just quiet for the next little while, but I want you to listen out. Now, Owen, I know it's hard going to be focused, but I don't know if you'll be able to see her in the grass. No, I think those impalas might have spotted her, or they spotted something and they moved off. All you can see is just her ears above the grass there. Looks like she might have just decided not to go for those impala more because they have moved off. You can see the youngsters are carefully looking at her. Once she decides to move off, you'll immediately see they'll run into that thicket because they know this is where mom has hidden them away. And even though she has drawn up with the pride a few times, she's not currently with them. And because she's not currently with them, every time she needs to go and hunt, she can't necessarily take them with. So she'll hide them away still, go hunt, and then eventually come back, call them and take them to the kill, because at this age they're already starting to eat meat. But just look at how carefully this female, or how still she's just sitting. It's hard even for us. I mean, we're lucky enough that we can zoom in a little bit to have a look, but with the naked eye, it's hard to spot her. You can only see this little bit of black behind the ears twitching now and again out of the grass. But look at that. I mean, if you had to walk here, you would not know there's a lioness behind that. Peter, it's really a awesome sound to hear when, especially the cubs call one another, or when they call the mum. It's like, ow, ow. It's an amazing sound. It's almost like a little contact call. But if you look at those, or this one particularly here, it is the young female. She's a little bit darker in color, I've noticed, in comparison to the young male. Both of them are just looking at mom just to make sure or see what her plan's going to be, because most of their communication is going to be through body language. Without her even having to say anything to them, they'll know what's happening.
Welcome back, guys. Like we said earlier, we'll just sit and hoping something happen now. Well, she's still she got even more comfortable now. As you can see, even the cubs are more chill, not really worried about anything. But as you can see, the way she's just lying like that. But you never know. Anything can happen now, and anytime. So that's why we never give up to stay with these animals in the wild like this. So because we know anything can come to her mind, and then suddenly she just get up and move, and for hunting. Because these calves definitely, they need to eat. Looks like they haven't eaten for like 2 days already. If you look at their bellies, that that's actually a big pressure on her. That's what she really needs to do. She needed to hunt for them. It's lovely to see the way she lie down, completely looks like she's not gonna do anything. Suddenly she just lifts her heads up and checking around. That's what happened to them normally. When they lie down, as you can see, start yawning. It might be a good sign. Also, licking herself, and she might get up and go. That's always we know. She might be leading us in a good action. But as you can see, the calves also start getting up, showing the mom, we need something to eat. Yeah, it's a wonderful morning today. Yeah, it's amazing to see when you're looking at these animals, you don't know what they're thinking. Yeah, that's true, Natasha. It's a beautiful. It's interesting to see how they keep on growing like this. Wow, the mom, she looked like she started getting a bit more active, but I don't blame her because after running for a little bit, she actually lose a lot of energy as well. She needs to save it so she can be able to hunt for the day. He said, Mom, this is my turn now. I'm also a bit dirty. Wow, look at them. You never know what's going to happen. Yeah, we'll just be like normal with her.
Okay, thank you very much. We are still in Djuma Natural Reserve, so we just have a little bit of a rhino here over here. So I just want to demonstrate a little bit about the difference between the elephant dung and the rhino dung. Both animals, they are single chamber stomach. If you look right over here, the color is not the same. All the chocolate cake look nice and it's well baked. So this one, it seems as it was a little bit more cooked. It's more dark. And this one, it is sort of like yellowish. So both chocolate cake, it's nice. And it is cooked well. So this one is baked by the rhino. And this one is baked by the elephant. Both animals are single chamber stomach. As they are single chamber stomach, this one also eating one stuff, and this one eating the many stuff. That's why the color is different. This one have got lots of tannin to become yellowish. This one is only grass, that's why it's only have got that color of dark. So this is a white rhino dung. The white rhino, it's using one area as its territory. So we also have got a black rhino and white rhino. Those species, at this moment, it's so-called a square-lipped rhino or a hook-lipped rhino. A hook-lipped rhino, it's so-called a black rhino because it have got a hook lip. So it's called a hook-lipped rhino. Long time ago, it was allowed to call it a white rhino or black rhino. But nowadays, some they say it's sort of like a racist. The reason it's a racist, it's almost according to their behavior. The black and white rhino, their behavior is not almost the same, it's different. So the white rhino, it's only eating grass, and the black rhino, it's only eating leaves, it's bronzing. Those rhinos you can identify far from the distance that this is a hook-lipped rhino or it's a square-lipped rhino. The head of a square-lipped rhino, it's always in the ground. It's grazing. And the head of a hook-lip rhino, it's always on the air. It is bronzing. It's only eating leaves. That's why where they're eating, you will find the branches on 45 angle. Yes, thank Chris. It is good for having this chocolate cake. They are always baked by the animals, so that's why sometimes if you're in the bush, you can experience something different. Okay, thank you, Mark. Go ahead on the elephant.
Well, we've been on a merry hunt for a leopard whose tracks we've been following for a while, all the way since Leopard Dam. We're now on our very, very far western boundary, and we found this elephant bull's pretty much the same place we had them yesterday. Still eating and feeding around here. Gerrit and I were just discussing before you came to us how at this time of year, elephants will spend a lot longer getting to the nutritious food than they would normally. They stick around and really delve and dig and push trees and scuff around trying to get as much nutrients as they can. Normally elephants would be very, very mobile, moving from place to place, feeding as they go, but because food is more scarce, these elephants are sticking around in an area much longer to make sure that they utilize as much of whatever is there as possible. You can see this one is taking time to pluck off these small, little, hard-to-reach branches on this very, very spiny Vachelia. This looks like a flaky bark thorn. Trying to get as much. It's amazing. We watched him literally. Oh, he's going to use his tusk. Watch this. Just to snap off. Oh, beautiful. Just to snap off those branches. Now you can see all those thorns. See, even in the summertime, when there's lots of green vegetation, they probably wouldn't spend as much time trying to eat these kind of uncomfortable plants because there's plenty of green stuff around. Oh, this elephant is crunching that, no problem. Just chew it thoroughly. You don't want that going in your belly with a few thorns in it. Yeah, we watched it really picking up a whole fallen tree and spending a long time with his feet and tusking it and shoving it, trying to get to something underneath. And once he'd done it, he literally had one mouthful of food and then kept moving. Just goes to show how desperate they are to make sure that they get absolutely everything. Still in great condition. Lyle is asking whether elephants lose weight in the winter, and that's definitely probable. It's very difficult to tell with elephants if they are losing weight or not. You'd start to see the spine sticking out a bit more, maybe the hip bones and the shoulder bones, and the temples just above the eyes start to sink in. They definitely probably lose a little bit of weight because, of course, they're not eating the huge amount of nutritious food that they would normally eat. But it's not distinct in these kind of areas because, of course, many of these game reserves have water holes and green vegetation around there all year round. And the elephants can move. It's an ecosystem that's quite open. So when elephants can't get what they need, they'll just move to the next place. Remember, we are part of the Greater Kruger National Park, which extends all the way from Eswatini, which used to be known as Swaziland, all the way north to the border of Zimbabwe and even into Mozambique. So it's a huge area. I think over 4 million acres. So it's a huge place for them to go to. So Lyle, they probably do a little bit, but not too much. Right, we're going to send you off whilst we watch these elephants feeding.
These two little lion cubs are having a bit of a play fight. So the young man went down to mom and then immediately came back and jumped on top of his sister, and now both of them just flopping down. You can see the sister's now getting up. Probably just giving him like a little bite on the right foot for jumping on her. Maybe something else, maybe she's chewing the grass. So Mum's still lying down on the other side of the bank. You can see now and again the youngsters would just pick up their head to have a look at Mum. You can just see her ears still, but she hasn't really moved. So we're going to try and see if we can spot her ears. I think from there on, no, it might be slightly left. Oh, there she's actually picked up her head now. Doctors, they are chilling at the moment. They are very, very relaxed, and just the way that they are lying down. But you can see, even though, I mean, it does look like the mom's not too fussed about moving, but you'll notice how her ears are very pricked forward. And I think there's still something there that has caught her attention. There's still something probably moving that she can hear. Or else she probably would have given up and moved back to the youngsters and decided to come and lie down in the sun here. But the way she's positioned herself is with a good reason, and a good chance that there might be something moving on that side. Early on there was those impalas that moved. They didn't really spot her because else you would have heard that loud snorting. So they haven't spotted her, but they heard something and they moved off. But the chances are they might eventually start moving back. So this one, remember we said the young female, just above the base of her tail is a little gap of hair that's missing. And it also just shows you the size. I mean, this is where the mom lied down earlier. And look at the size, or the difference in comparison to that youngster and that mom. Now eventually, in 4 or 5 years' time from now, that youngster will be just as big as the mom. And I do agree with most of the viewers, they blend in so well to the grass. Or like if you compare the grass with him. Even look at this young female now. The way she's sitting down, if you look at the colors, I mean, this time of the winter there's a lot of brown, a lot of whites. Just look at how, especially in the shade, how easily she can disappear. Sure, I can believe it. They've grown quite a bit since the last time you would have seen them. Because I spoke to her last time we saw them on camera was probably a month ago, if not more. And the thing about these youngsters are they have to be quite tough at the moment because mom is moving quite far distances. And the thing is, they need to keep up. Because they're also at that stage now where mom's not necessarily going to carry them anymore. They have to follow her, and they're doing very well. And I'm sure whenever they do get tired, they'll probably go that call where they'll go like, no, and mom will just say, okay, that's enough for the day. But as long as she can push them to move as far as they can, she'll move with them. Over the last little while, over the last 3 days, she's probably moved close to 20 kilometers with these youngsters. So in terms of miles, just over 11, 12 miles with them. And that's quite far for a youngster to move. I mean, this age. And it's like, if you look at the terrain, it's not an easy flat terrain where they move. It's up and down hills. It's through tough river sand in really dense areas. So whenever they get an opportunity just to enjoy a bit of sun and a bit of playtime, I'm sure they'll make the most out of it.
Welcome back again, everyone. We are still here with our lovely cheetah. As you can see, she just changed her position earlier where she was, and she come lie down here again. She looks like she's promising us she might be do something a little bit anytime from now. As you can see, she keep on checking different direction. The cubs as well. One of the cubs get a little bit wound and back between his leg at the back there. You can see the cut. Actually, it's not very bad cut. It's just a very like a light cut, because also good she can able to lick, clean that wound, which is good. And yeah, it looks like it might be like a tree cut or something like that. It's not like other cat they've been trying to kill it, or not really like that. Well, look like Mom, she's just standing up again. She not too sure what to do for now, because she's been moving around a lot in this area. She haven't moved too far from here. She knows that she's been disturbing whatever are hanging around this area. She needs to find a fresh area she haven't been to, so she can start fresh hunting there. There she goes, slowly moving. And the way she's moving, like, she looks like now she make up her mind. She really knows where to go now. But the cub's still like thinking, well, Mom, keep going, Mom, we'll catch up. I like the way she's moving, and keep on checking her baby at the back. See, what are you guys doing? Sometimes when the cubs keep on ignoring what she does, she come back and like disciplining them, and then they come follow her sometime. Now the cubs are gonna join her as well. Wow, that area where she is, oh look, one of the cub was climbing up on a tree. Marcel is gonna try to zoom into the way the cubs is. Look at that, the way she's climbing. It's amazing. Look at that. But the tree is too straight to him to climb all the way up. Look like trying to coming down. Wow. Normally, if the tree is not straight enough like that, they can climb almost all the way up. Yeah, look at them walking again. The mom, she's leading them now in the kind of same direction where she's been earlier on. It's amazing to see that she looks like she's moving a circle in this area. She loves this place. I think oh, look at the cubs chasing each other, playing again. We'll stick with them because we don't know how far she's gonna walk. We'll just stay with her.
I have this bird and it's silhouetted, and I know that all of the older viewers will know exactly what it is. But we often do this where we see a silhouetted bird and we ask you, you've talked too much, Trishala, what it is. And now it's in the light, so you will see what it is. It's on that tiny little branch. Yep, there we go. Anyway, the way that game should have gone was it should have stayed there, and then I'd say, use the hashtag WildEarth. Let us know what you think it was. And then you would have guessed. And then I would have said, huzzah, you are all right. It's a crested barbet. Lucia said it first. Well done. Crested barbet indeed. And now it is a dead tree. Well, I've been looking for Tsalamba and following up on tracks, and I couldn't get her, unfortunately, and I couldn't pick up any tracks in Central, so she went into this drainage, and then I don't know. So I decided let's just enjoy the rest of the drive and look for some smaller things. And I'm going to make my way up to Buffelshoek Dam. Maybe there'll be some illies to brighten up my day. That would be lovely. Megan, you say birds don't often cooperate. You are absolutely right, Megan. They don't often. Although the little bee eater I had the other day was very cooperative. It was like its first day of work. Very alert and was ready to go and was hoping it would do well. See what other little things we can find. I want to find for you a knobthorn that is flowering. The one in camp I told you has started. And it's very, very pretty. I love the color. It's sort of like maroony, burnt red kind of color when it's just the tiny buds. That's what we're seeing at the moment. So it hasn't burst out into the white flowers that we know. So let's see what smaller things we can pick up. I'll send you over to Dylan in the meantime. He's looking at his wonderful landscape and the Kalahari.
So nothing yet on these wildcats, but that nest that Jandre's got in frame over there, that's exactly the kind of places that these wildcats would be using to sun themselves early in the morning, late in the afternoon. The thing is, at this time of the year, with the temperatures as mild as they are, right through the day, you can get them being active right through the day, as long as there's suitable prey items around, which there are. We know there's tons of things around. There's squirrels, mongoose, meerkats, birds, lizards, you name it. Everything in that kind of size range is fair prey for an African wildcat. So I'm really not fazed about the time of day. These cats, if they get a half a chance, it's like a domestic cat. You can say that cat can be sleeping on your couch and it walks outside and can eat a bird in the garden. These cats are exactly the same. And Jandre and I were actually talking about the whole conservation challenge with African wildcats is, they stem from, domestic cats stem from African wildcats anyway. They've just been hybridized or bred up over the years for specific traits, same as domestic dogs stemming from wolves. And one of the big challenges with environments, okay, Tswalu, we're lucky, I don't want to say we're exempt from that, but because we're so far from any human settlements, we've got a very strong, healthy population of African wildcats. But there are a lot of reserves that battle with hybridization between domestic cats, or feral cats rather, and African wildcats. And occasionally you get these odd ones running around with like a ginger cat or a grey cat with white feet, that kind of stuff. We haven't seen that out here. So this is a really good population of purebred African wildcats, which is very, very special. But they're fulfilling the same ecological role in these environments. And there's been really interesting conversations in the past about tiger conservation. And do you focus your energy on a whole lot of different subspecies of tigers, whether you've got such low numbers, like South Chinese tiger, Siberian tiger, or do you say, okay, well, let's pile our resources into one subspecies like the Bengal tiger, where you've still got a relatively, in the big picture, a relatively healthy population. They can fulfill that same ecological role even if they were moved into other habitats. Anyway, that's a whole different conservation and philosophical argument over there. But back to our African wildcats here. So at this time of the year, they can be active at any time of the day. And if you see that example that, Luke says it's a really interesting discussion, and it is, and it becomes very emotional as well. People get emotionally attached to certain species, and if you've got people that have been working intensively on South Chinese tigers, I've been involved in that in the past, in in a small way, or Siberian tigers, whatever, you really do get emotionally attached to animals, and there's nothing wrong with that. That's part of human nature. But you really got to, when populations of anything, whether it's a specific orchid or a moth or a whatever it is, when those numbers start dwindling through environmental pressures or human pressure, you really got to take a stark sort of look at it and say, okay, well, where do we put our resources and how do we allocate those for the betterment of the conservation of that species? It's a very, very tough discussion, and a very sensitive one in many cases. But yeah, we don't have huge problems like that here, fortunately. But yeah, so if you look at that sighting that Jandra had yesterday of that wildcat, that was at, I think, 10 o'clock in the morning. So yeah, thereabouts. So, these cats are going to be active right through the day. So you mustn't worry that we're spending time out here after this. Any time is a good time to find these cats.
These youngsters are now enjoying the sun so much. The sister is actually flat, but it looks like the young male has something. He just rolled around with his paw. I'm trying to see what it is. I think it might be a bowl of elephant dung that he just rolled. But they are very, very relaxed. And what we'll do from here is we'll probably just spend another few minutes with them, or maybe up to 20 more minutes, just to see if they do move. But if not, it might be worth us coming back a little bit later, because often with lions, this is the time of the day. As it warms up, they'll start moving into a bit of shade. I think today might be quite a nice warm day, just based on the sun and already the heat that we can feel on our backs here. So don't necessarily think that they're going to be heading anywhere quite far from here. It might just be that if the mum decides to go and hunt later on, she'll just hide them away and then venture off. And it's a nice area. I mean, if you look at where they are situated, there's quite a thick bush behind them, so for them to move in there is quite nice cover, away from any other possible dangers, but very, very relaxed. Just see heads down, enjoying that sun, and not cold. Butterfly, they are just like the grass. If you look at them, they blend in just so well. You can't really see the mom now because you only see a now and then an ear moving, twitching in the grass. Here we go. But they are flat as can be. Maybe even when mom got back, had a good drink, so they had their filling this morning. And like any big cat, or aspiring big cats, especially these little ones, they need to conserve as much energy as they possibly can. They can't just go around and play the whole time, because then they're going to burn so much, be hungry the whole time, and if mom moves, it could be quite dangerous for them. But on the other hand, if they do enjoy and conserve as much as they can, whenever mom's there, they can have a drink, play around, develop themselves. So what we'll do from here is I'll probably start heading up and go explore some other areas, and later on come back. But in the meantime, let's send you across to TRISHALA, because apparently she has a beautiful bird.
This oriole has been cooperative. It is a black-headed oriole, everyone. Very, very pretty bird with a lovely call. Maybe it'll call for us. For me, the call sounds, ooh, off it goes. The call sounds like it's almost like this fluid moving through something. like it. Well, it was cooperative briefly. At least. Heard some shouting. Grey, go away, birds. Chalet Pan is just here. Let's have a quick look. Critter Freak, you say so beautiful. It really is very beautiful, that bird. Let's have a look at what we've got here at the pan. Oh, we've got a very, very spunky grey go-away bird having a drink. I love watching them have a drink. Look at that. Oh, don't want to drink anymore? That's fine. We've got some doves having a drink. Looks like a crested Franklin family is going to join us soon. Such a nice quiet pan for these birds to feel safe to dip down and have a good drink. No, it doesn't look delicious, but it is water. And oh, see, a bit of crested barbet fight was going on next to me there. Unfortunately, I couldn't swing Theo around that quick. Let's just roll forward, if I can. Nope. Okay, Wendy. Fine. Just pop ourselves here. And wait a little bit. Oh. There's a grey go-away bird again. Kiki, you'd like to know if a bird would bathe in this water? I mean, it's not ideal, but they would. But you'd find that what animals will do with water like this is they'll move around in it first, so it clears any scum that's built up on the surface. And then they'll have a bit of a bathe, and then they'll come back out. Look at that hair. Gotta love it. You have a fabulous hairstyle. That would put the best hairspray in the world to shame. I can hear Franklin's, I can hear... There we go, magpie strikes, I can hear... Cape turtle dove. I heard a black-headed oriole in the distance as well. Shenzi, you say maybe this guy is in the band with that barbet. Just over on, there's some blue waxbill. Just on that fallen over bit, yeah, right there. There's so many bands that could, I mean, so, ooh. Do we have a petilia? Oh, yay! It's a green-winged petilia. Oh, I love them so much. They are so gorgeous. Oh, I'm too happy about this, and this is by far the best sighting I've ever had of a green-winged petilia. So we've got a blue waxbill on the left and a green-winged petilia on the right. It's very difficult to get them. Oh, they are stunning. They remind me a little bit of zebra finches that I would see in Australia. Ah, that was so good. So at this waterhole, we had crested francolin, grey go-away bird, Cape turtle dove, blue waxbill, as well as a green-winged petilia. I'm very happy with what Chile Pan has offered us today. So let's send you over to Dylan and see what he has to offer you for the rest of the, not afternoon, but morning.
So I'm really excited to hear that Trish got those green-winged petilias down there. The old name was a Melba finch, like Melba toast, but we've got a variety of that on Tswalu, which is particularly interesting, and I've only ever seen it once before here. And if you look in your bird books or you Google green-winged petilia, you'll see the males are bright orange on the front. So we've actually got a variation here the orange has been replaced by yellow. So it's bright yellow on the chest. Very, very, very rare. But if you look at birds, it's often yellow and red that get swapped around. So, Gendro, wake up. Gendro's fast asleep there, yeah. So if you look at crimson-breasted shrikes, which is crimson, as the name says, but you'll often get a yellow morph, or often. It's actually rare. But you get a yellow morph of that. Black-collared barbets, where the male's got this bright, or yeah, the male and female, they get this bright red, but that sometimes gets replaced by a yellow variety. So anyway, that's pretty cool. So I'm really glad that Trish got that. We're still on the hunt, and we are not going to give up. We're going to keep going, and I'm committed to doing a drawing of a caracal, and I will do it on this drive, and I will show you what my draw. It's going to be horrendous, because I promise you my drawing skills are somewhat less than desirable. It's never going to be in any museum or art gallery ever, I promise you that. But we will do one for you, because it's just fun, if nothing else. And that'll be on this drive. Jan has asked, is there a reason that those colors would change between areas? It's a good question, and I don't have a good answer for you, unfortunately, Jan. I'd have to check it out, but what we tend to find, if you look at things like our gabar goshawks, now gabar goshawks, again, it's this little grey accipiter, little grey hawk. The typical variety is the grey one, but you seem to get quite regularly a black morph. In other words, it's a melanistic morph that occurs, but they seem to be centered on these more arid areas. Why that is, I'm not sure, because the accepted thinking in terms of black morphs tend to be more of an adaptation towards densely wooded areas. It could be that we're just sitting right on the evolutionary tip of a change in environments. Now we know this environment that we're in here, the southern Kalahari, has been prone to these huge swings in climate over many, tens of millions of years, in fact, and it's gone through ups and downs. So we've had periods in this climate here in these areas where it's been incredibly wet and very, very dense woodland, big pans like inundated with water, and then we've gone to the opposite extreme, extremely arid, windswept, cold, not necessarily ice sheets. These areas have been covered in ice sheets in the past, but in recent times the ice ages that have impacted on these environments has just caused extremely arid, extremely cold, but no ice. So we've gone through these massive swings, and it could be that if you look at gabar goshawks as one species where you're getting these melanistic birds that keep on getting thrown out of these populations, it could just be that we're sitting right on the edge of what was a very, very wet environment at one stage, and when those birds, those black birds, would have been better suited to hunting in dense, very, very dense woodland, closed canopy woodland, and they would have been extremely well camouflaged. In terms of the yellow morph of things like Melba finch or green-ring petilias, I'm giving my age away there by using the word Melba finch, or what do you guys, what's that other bright bird? Oh, crimson-breasted shrike. Thanks, Chandra. Crimson-breasted shrikes. You know, I'd have to check out more what would be the benefits of having those, because those really bright colors. Now, talking about color, you know, those reds and that are great for advertising to other rivals within the same species, other birds that but you also, in terms of, you're actually quite well camouflaged. Red is actually not a bad color in the bush if you want to be camouflaged, because most of the predators, apart from avian predators, aren't going to be seeing that bright red color. It actually comes out as a gray, but bright yellow will stand out. Imagine looking at bright yellow on a black and white TV. It's a very light shade. So don't think in terms of color, think rather in terms of shades. So good question.
We left that lioness with the two youngsters. They decided just to lie down. They didn't even pick up their heads. And as we were driving away, Richard and Ernie, so the two trackers, let us know that, remember the waterhole where we saw the beautiful elephants coming to drink the other day? Quite a massive herd, and then yesterday we did some birding around that particular waterhole. So more in the central part. I'll show everyone on the map once we get there. But apparently the burning and pride has been found in that open area near the one waterhole. And what we're going to try and do is see if we can get there and get a glimpse of them. The chances are they could eventually move, like find a nice spot to settle in for the day, but there's always a chance that we can possibly see them. Unfortunately, the area where we are moving in, it's quite dense, so we often struggle a little bit with signal in that area, but there's always a chance, and we've got to take that chance. Remember, we said we've got to risk it for the biscuit this morning, and hopefully we'll be rewarded. But with those other lions sitting down, they're not going to be heading anywhere pretty soon. Let's get there and have a look and see, because we haven't seen them in quite a while as well. I know they've been they went out on our western boundary, and eventually they came back. And so because of that, we haven't seen them. So let's go and have a look, and then basically we'll take it from there. I just love driving in this particular area. While we're carrying on, let's send you across to Djuma as we pursue this adventure towards those lines.
Thank you. Welcome back to Djuma Natural Reserve. We're still right over here in the bush, where we managed to identify something which is very different. If you look around over here, it is all over with the grass, but there is a small spot which has been digging. This small spot, it's made by the wild beast. The wild beast, it is a very best in Afrikaans. That means wild cow. The wild cow have got sort of like a gland right next to the head. Those gland, it's scratching over there to produce sort of like a marking for territory. So wild beasts are mostly together with some different animals. Sometimes can be together with the impalas. Sometimes can be together with the zebras. Wild beast is very, very poor on eyesighting. That's why most other animals, they like him because it's very good on smelling. It's very, very good on smelling, but they do make their territory. That gland, if it's rolling on the ground, it's spreading that gland to make a smelling that it can be almost together with those other animals, and the other herd, they can't join together. They do territory, the wild beast. So right over here, you can see just only for himself doing this. So this tablet is too big for us to drink. But for them, it is also part of their territory. It's a rolling on, whatever. So now, yes, it is true, Jonah, where they do territory, but sometimes they meet during to the drought because they can manage to share the place of drinking water. So, but they may have to move together with their own head. They do territory. So we are on our way as we trying to relocate the lines somewhere around over here. So we just want to move on together with my colleague. So if we're lucky, we might find those lines. I believe that maybe somewhere around, because we heard that calling right in the morning around this area. Yes, we will keep on relocating those lines.
To the rest of the pride, so that Birmingham pride with the young or with the white line, so we can only see one of the males within the pride, or the young white male. We haven't seen the young white female yet, but it does look like these lines are hunting wildebeest as we speak. So those that we saw earlier, they're moving down, so we just want to stay here and keep a good look at what's going to happen here. You'll notice the other ones have like their heads are up and they are looking down, but look at the way that those ones are moving. So early on, one line has spotted something, and there's a few that's already ahead of them that are heading down in that direction. If they carry on that way, we'll try and loop around this thicket and see if we can get ahead of them. But there's a chance also, if they do fail, that they'll go down to the water to drink. But for now, we'll keep a good distance and just see where they go from here. Almost looks like they have given up on the hunt. The way that they are moving doesn't really show in their body language. And it's also such a nice area. I mean, the view from here is a really nice vantage point for the others to look down in order to see those that are down at the bottom of the valley. But have a look. There's quite a big 360 view here. And also, just imagine with lions now, because they are possibly hunting wildebeest or zebra, they know that in the wintertime animals need to come down to the water. So what they'll do is they'll stick around these water areas, and as soon as animals come down, they'll use all the cover that they have here. Remember earlier we mentioned how well those lion cubs blended into the grass and the trees. So imagine how well they'll blend in if they lie down in the shade and just patiently wait for animals to come down to drink, because then they know there's always a chance of possibly getting something. There's a young male that's coming in from the left into the screen. Let's notice, might be even his mum there, just quickly re-establishing the bond. Oh. So I'll just want to loop around and see if there's another view from this side. But in the meantime, while I do that, let's send you across to TRISHALA.
Trish is looking for more birds. I saw a woodpecker just kind of fly towards this area. Couldn't tell what it was or which woodpecker it was, but I could tell it was a woodpecker. Yeah, I think I'm going on a bit of a bird hunt today. Birds are like little treasures, like that green-winged petilia. That is like one of those rare cards that you would swap with people. If there was a bird game with those cards, the green-winged petilia would be all shiny and 3D or something like that. At least that's how I imagine it. I don't see my woodpecker. We can keep on looking. It's warmed up really nicely now. Yvette, you say you're loving the birding. Let's find more birds. Okay, fine. Let's do it. Let's find more birds. I hope that you guys are keeping a bird list, because it's so important. In fact, if you have the Roberts Bird app, which is an excellent bird app, you can tick them off on the app. So you kind of have a digital list. Or rather, all the birds are there and you just tick them off. I've been using that lately. I have no idea how many I've seen. I tried going through it just before I came here, going through the app and looking at how many I'd seen, and I only got to about C before I decided I need to properly sit down and figure out how many birds I've seen. This is not a, oh, let's just have a look at the app type of activity. How about we do? Neva, you say at least I see them in real life. True that, true that. You're also seeing it with me, guys. Alright, let's do a bit of a tree quiz. This one here. What do we think it is? Let's zoom into the bark. Nice, fine fishes on the bark. If we go up to the leaves, you can see that the stems have this kind of right-angled, almost decussate arrangement, the stems do. Alright, I'm going to send you over to something that is not decussate, but is stripy, and we'll come back to this tree. Remember, use that hashtag to let me know what you think it is.
These are stripier than most trees, except maybe the zebra wood. And these are plains zebra, moving not through the plains, but through the thickets. Classic zebra. They don't do what the guidebooks say they'll do. They do the opposite, as they always strive to do whenever guides try and show them to people. So these zebra, it's a group of males that we've been seeing frequently. They seem to have just come onto Pridelands and now be sticking around. They only arrived here, according to what I've heard, about 4 or 5 days ago. And now they just seem to be sticking around, especially in this area here, amongst all these ex-acacias, enjoying this long grass that's amongst them, slightly more sheltered from most of the other animals. Impalas don't seem to come into this area that often, so the zebras have still plenty of food left. I just love their patterns, how well they blend in amongst these trees. We've talked about it before, but that's what makes their camouflage work so well. Remember, most animals can't see in full color. So when they're amongst the trees like that, you can see they hide very, very well. In places like East Africa, where it's very open, the camouflage works slightly differently. They actually camouflage to each other, so it's difficult to pick out an individual. But it works just as well here. And these zebras have got that faint shadow stripe between each of the dark stripes. So that is one of the ways that you can tell that this is a plains zebra, not a mountains zebra. Helen, these ones do seem to have rather broad stripes. Oh, they've all gone now away from us. But these ones did have quite broad stripes. And it's quite interesting. Zebras are very unique. Some will have more white than dark. Some will have more dark than light. But every single one is unique. And I think the ones that have more dark on them are actually more beautiful. I like the dark, thick stripes on their bodies. It's actually really, really wonderful. I'm going to keep moving because the zebras are now moving into a slightly more thick area. But yes, I've seen zebras before that are almost white in color. Very little of the dark on them. And that's really quite amazing. But everyone is unique, every single zebra. So what we've been doing is we've been driving around this area. We've followed the lion, like the sounds, and they went past our boundary, so we couldn't follow them anymore. Then we found a leopard track. In fact, two leopard tracks, two sets of male tracks it looked like. And then we followed those tracks down into this area. We've lost them for now, but maybe that leopard, or those leopards, and we're not sure if it was a mating pair, if it was two males, maybe on a territorial boundary dispute or something. We followed them towards this drainage line, but now we can't find exactly where they've gone. But we're going to keep trying around this area. Who knows what we might find as we travel through the bush. Well, we're going to carry on searching, and we're going to send you back to the tree quiz you were doing with TRISHALA. TRISHALA.
Oh, we're on a roll, aren't we? Love the zebra wood comment and love the TRISHALA. Alright, let's start again with the description, just to give you a better idea. Let's start all the way at the top. This tree has small leaves. The margins of them are a little wavy. There's those right-angled branches, small branches that I showed you. This only occurs in the young of this tree. You don't see it in adults because it's modified. These are modified branches to be sticking out like that as a defense for the tree. Kevin and Megan, you say, is it a knobthorn? It is not a knobthorn. Knobthorns have very obvious knobs when they're this size. This is quite a young tree. There Theo's giving a good close-up of the leaves and the wavy margin, as well as those modified branches, small tiny branches that act kind of like spines. Ooh, consulting detective. You reckon a jackalberry? Nay, no modified spines and not small leaves for the jackalberry. Jackalberry that's young will actually have slightly reddish leaves. You can see that these ones are small and pale. Now the bark is also finely fissured, but scaly, and is light colored. Remember, this is a young of a tree that we know very well. Standing by, I was about to say.
Just checking you're not accessing the den this morning, Raymond. Just to take a minute.
Yes, go for it. I did check on it earlier, but it was still a bit cold. Please do go for it. I'm doing some trees.
Stop, thank you.
Alright, let's give you some clues about it. That may help you. Beans, you're asking if it's a marula? No, it isn't, but there's a marula behind it. There on the right of your screen. I'm asking you about this tree because when I first started learning trees, and I love trees, this one used to stump me because it looks different as a youngster than it does when it's older. When it's older, that bark looks very much like scales on a reptile, and it's very gray, but these leaves are still small and tiny, and they don't have the spines anymore. McTikTok, you beauty. You've gotten it. It's a leadwood. Well done. It is a young leadwood, Combretum imberbe. It's a difficult one. It is. As we're so used to seeing them as great big adults. Louis D. Lyon, you said I stumped you. A TRISHALA. Let's actually, well, thank you. I hope I'll be able to do more trees with you. But how about we go over and look at this zebra wood on the right here. This is just a continuation of, was it Mike's joke? I'm just looking at the zebras, Theo. Theo is probably like, what? Gorgeous little dazzle. I think everyone's feeling nice, including all the animals, that the sun is out, it feels toasty. I always love when we look at the smaller things, then it stops, because if you focus a lot on trying to find that leopard and you're following the tracks, it's frustrating and all of that. Although it's a wonderful experience. But sometimes you can forget when you're doing stuff like that, just how much else there is out here. And then you stop and do a few trees, look at a few birds, and you pick up a gem like the petilia, or some zebras just happen to walk by you. And for me, I think it all changed with the sunlight. Look at that. Stunning. Lovely. Alright, NIKKI has found some more lions. How many more lions can he find? Let's go and count them.
So the rest of the pride are slowly coming up to join up with these here. So some of them went down towards the water's edge. Probably there were some wildebeest in there, but as they moved off, they decided to come back. Now, having a look at the pride, so we haven't seen, there's only one that is missing here from this pride, other than the Ross males, of course, the young female with her youngsters, and then the Birmingham young male. But we are missing the young white female that's not with this pride at the moment. Now, apparently from some of the reports we had, and we've seen that these lions, once they crossed out of the property, now what I'd like to do is I just want to grab a map of the area just to show everyone what I'm talking about so we all on the same page. So I just want to get my map ready. So just want to get everything out. So Owen, if I can ask just to move right over here. So before I carry on with the story about the lions, I just wanted to take the time just to show you more or less where these lions were and where they are now. Now, currently, we started off this morning, so if you follow this little stick, I don't know if you'll be able to see it properly, but we started right over here in this area, right there. And then from here on, we went all the way down to round about here, and that's where we found the little the lioness with the small youngsters. From here on, we came all the way up, and this is where we found well, not us, but the trackers found the rest of the pride up here. Now, this pride, the Birmingham pride, came from the western sides. Remember, this is west, this is east, south, and north. So they were out on this area here, and apparently they were hunting buffalo in this area. And you can see that young male earlier on, before he lied down, there was quite a big scar on this, or not a big, but a big gash on the side of his body. So what I think is, with this area here, the reports say that they were hunting buffalo. And after that, they came here. And I wonder, with that, if maybe some of the members of the pride are still in between where that area is and where we are now, or we just don't know too sure where they might be. Maybe she is lying down somewhere here where we just can't see her at the moment, but it'd be interesting to see where she is. I mean, all the others are here, which is really strange because she's often with the rest of the pride, almost in the middle always. So we'll just have to spend some time here and see. But the young male is off to the left there. The rest of the pride's in the middle. I can see his sisters here. You know, the smallest young tawny color female, she's here. But of course the white sister is not. I'm so glad all the viewers are enjoying the time, or spending the time here in andBeyond and Ngala, because often I do feel, even though we have these amazing sightings, you're able to see this, I often believe that 80% of what's actually out there is what we're not able to see, especially because they're in these areas where it's very remote. There's no signal in those areas. It's fast. I mean, we are into some of the prime viewing spots where we can see and experience some of these majestic animals, but there's still so many areas that I would love the viewers one day, hopefully, if you can come and visit, to have a look and experience. But for now, how beautiful is it just to be able to see this whole pride and how they are lying down. And I'm glad to see them because it's been quite a while since the last time I saw them.
WildEarth relies on support from viewers like you to carry on broadcasting our daily live shows. A small donation goes a long way in helping us on our mission to connect the world with nature. Please visit our support page to see how you can help and become part of the WildEarth family.
So, due to general public pressure, I will succumb to it, and I'm just going to show you how tragically dismal my artwork is, or my art skills are. I never took art, I'm not known for it, and I never will be. But anyway, here it goes. So we have just got some, the colors aren't going to be the right colors for a caracal, but let's try for a caracal here. Okay, so they've got ears. We know they've got ears. Okay, they've got ears. Okay, and on the tops of the ears, they've got little ear tufts. So you've got these long hairs sticking out the tops of the ears like that. Okay, okay, there's the top of its head. Oh my goodness. This is a awful caracal across the world. I'm very sorry for having done this to you all. And it's got eyes. All cats have eyes. And it's got a nose. And a mouth. Yes. Like that, I think. Okay, and then it's actually got these like lines that go kind of like that down to the nose as well. And there's its mouth. There's a caracal. Look, and it's sitting. It's actually lying down. So it's lying down. Wait, there you go. There you go, like that. There's a caracal. And I can even sign it. There we go. Jeez, I can't remember how to spell my surname. And the whiskers, yeah. Willow Wanderer says, don't forget the whiskers. There we go. 2020. There's a caracal. Caracal. We've seen a wildcat this morning. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed that. There's my caracal drawing. As you can see, it's not going to make it into any art gallery on the planet, but that's a caracal. Now we need to go find the real thing, actually. Yeah, that would be a winner. Yeah. Yeah, it's okay. Yeah, you see, I succumb to peer pressure so easily. There you go. But the diagnostic thing, don't worry about the color. These ear tufts are really, really cool. And that actually helps camouflage the cat in the environments that it lives in. Yes, sorry, I should have clarified that. Jackie has just asked, what am I using to paint it? It's actually mud from the dam over here. It's mud from the dam. So that's why the color's not great. In fact, there's not many colors on this thing that actually even match anything vaguely on a caracal, except maybe around the nose and the muzzle and that. But yeah, so that's just mud, not poop. There was some jackal poop here that I was tempted to, and I thought, no, you don't know what's in jackal poop. You don't want to start fiddling around with that stuff. But anyhow, yeah, so there's a caracal for you guys, and I hope that that does it. Yeah, I can go with my, yeah, I think head over to Trish, she's got some cool stuff for you, and I'm gonna, yeah, I'll just carry on this side.
Interesting. I heard that the caracal's face resembled or was very angelic. That was the comms I got. Hopefully you'll be able to find you one. Or a wildcat. A wildcat would be awesome. Now I am making my way to the east because I've heard that the Telematis may still be around. So I'm slowly going to make my way to the east. Maybe they'll be further into Djuma than they were last night. Last night they were right on Bufulsuk Gari cut line. Moving east to the quarry, that's near the dam. And I think they're a little bit into Djuma now, so we're going to go and have a look at that end. Hopefully we'll be able to catch up with them. If I see any interesting trees along the way, I will definitely let you know. There were also some fresh leopard tracks along this road this morning. Oh, you guys are enjoying the smaller things this morning? Yeah, I did too, and I think sometimes it's nice to remember about those things because even for myself, I forget that there's so much around me. I don't have to just look for the big animals and the hairy and scary, as they're called. I can look for these smaller things too, and they're equally as interesting, aren't they? I think they are. But let's go see if we can find the hairy and scaries. Some lions. So we counted 13 without the Avoca male. There was 14 with the Avoca male, but it should have been 15 because as far as I knew they didn't lose any of their cubs. So let's go over and hopefully find them first and then count them. And then Emma said something to me, but the car was very noisy, so apparently I'm sending you somewhere. So go wherever I'm sending you.
Yes, indeed. I'm happy now back for you to be back to me again. I'm right over here on a big mound which is made by the termite. With the termite play up to 36 pieces. An ecosystem that without termite, some of them, they will be not alive. Right over here in front where I'm walking to the old hyena den. So the hyenas were staying here before. They just move out with some certain reason. It might be because they're coming in and out. They make sort of like if it's raining, the water gets in, so they won't be comfortable if they're walking in with the water. So they have to move out, but it is not made by them. So this termite, the termite mound, as you see, it's a big area. It's a big house that all the soil is coming from underground. The termites start on a level area where they dig one by one sand to make a huge area. As they're making a very huge area, inside the hole is becoming a room. But how can you get that inside of that room? It's so difficult because even those hyenas, they didn't dig to get inside the room. There is another animal called artfag. The artfag is the one who have got a very, very big claw that can manage to dig until they get in. They are eating ants and as well as the termite. So to dig to get on a termite, it is a bonus for them that they don't have to go away again. If it is big like this, it's almost above more than 1 million of termites inside over there. So those termites, they make their area where they can manage to build their fungus, to farm their fungus. So they're farming their fungus in order to eat. They're also eating the fungus. The termite, they are divided into 3 pieces. They have got a king and a queen. They also have got the workers and the soldiers. So the workers are those one who are bringing the food inside over there, and the soldiers are protecting. And the queen is to produce their babies. Their babies can fly off on a first rain and land somewhere else where they're going to start another termite. So as they are digging, they are flying on where they are going to land. They're going to land all of them, and they dig to start another new termite. So as I said, termite play up to 36 pieces, more than 36 pieces in ecosystem that without them they can use. So the artfag is so-called a door maker. It's the one who digs. Mostly the mongoose, they do use the termite hole. The warthog as well, they also use the warthog. It is sort of like a daylight animal that they can't see during the night. So they need to sleep. Where are they going to sleep? Because their eyes, the lens of their sonar. Normally, it is not. They won't go to the active one, because the active one is still active and it still have got a termite, and it still have got no hole to open because it's sealed, it's closed. They can't manage to get in. They need someone, as I said, it's a door maker, to go in and eat all the termite. Once all the termite is being eaten, that means that termite will be no more active. So it will be a hole that they can manage to get in. Beside that, there is no hole. If it's still alive, the active, the termite, that means it's sealed. They're just opening while for ventilation for a few hours, and then they close it back again. Thanks for your question. So while okay, as we fail to get some lions, we would like to move on to see if we will be getting something which is special. Very good. We will be lucky if we get something special. We move on.
The one young male or female has just picked up her head at the moment, and she's just gleaming down in this direction. There's quite a big open area behind us just to see if there's maybe any wildebeest or zebra coming down to drink. Now, often with lions, and particularly leopard, is they do tend to move early parts of the morning, late in the afternoon, and then especially during the evening. However, they could, if there's an opportunity, they'll hunt in the middle of the day, which we've seen quite a few times. But the other thing about these more common animals is, even though the lions do move, well, that's the time when they're mostly going to be moving, some of the other animals will move in the middle of the day when these lions aren't going to be moving as much, like the zebra, like the giraffe, like the wildebeest, possibly even buffalo coming down to drink, and then heading away from here. And these lions have specifically, very strategically placed themselves in this area where the wind is blowing from the waterhole towards them. They have a vantage point, and because of that, they can smell if anything goes down, and they might not necessarily see it, but also they'll be able to use this opportunity to possibly scan quite far distances, so they'll be able to spot something from quite far off and then plan how they're going to sneak up on it. You'll notice there's one of the young males just slowly moving, probably going to come and lie down in the shade next to the others. But we've been very lucky with the lions this morning. So 2 different prides that we know of, and I mean the young female with the 2 youngsters by herself. So she's actually part of this pride, so that's why I just say 2 prides. But imagine this male here, how big he's going to be. So with this young male also, like you've noticed that he's quite stocky, quite well built. Now Byron, with the young males in general, so when you read quite a few textbooks, there's always like a more or less a general consensus that from 1.5 years to 2 years is probably the time when they're going to be pushed out of the pride. But there are quite a few exceptions to the rule. I mean, we've seen it now with the other Birmingham young male that constantly joins up with the pride, and he's over 4 years old. So it could be that as soon as they start feeding too much, because remember, he's only one male and these other ones are still growing up, but once they get to the size where he is now, they're basically going to outcompete the females when it comes to the food. So basically from there on, they'll be pushed out, but not just because of the food, because of the other males. The Ross males won't tolerate them, because once they get to that stage where they are sexually mature, from 2.5 years onwards, that's when they are also going to be forced out of the pride, and hopefully stick together, form a coalition like a brother bond, and from there on probably move out of this area. It all depends, but I'm sure once the Ross males gets towards the end of their life cycle, or towards the end of their dominance, they'll probably be pushed out of there by bigger dominant lions. So these ones might never even be part of this pride, or they might even be pushed off. Just quickly want to respond to one of the trackers quickly. Just stand by, I'm just quickly live. We'll reply soon. So I just wanted to, while I heard one of the trackers were trying to look for me, and probably hear if there's any other news around. But for now, how amazing is this, just being able to spend some time with these lions. And you'll notice, especially with the older ones, they would almost, whenever the wind's blowing from the water towards them, they almost face the opposite direction, so that if they do miss anything, they'll be able to spot it from downwind. But at least if something's upwind, they'll be able to smell it. But in the meantime, I'm going to stay here for a little bit longer. Let's send you across to Trishala and hear if she has an update for us.
I'm enjoying my morning elephants. Green woodhoop is shouting in the background as the elephants come through. think let's have a nice relaxing scene again. Let's just be quiet and you can listen to all the sounds of the elephants, their subtle movements, their deliberate movements, and all the little ones. So enjoy. Breathe in the cool air and feel the soft sun on your skin. Appreciate the lovely colors of the leaves and the grass. And these guys busy at work. Emma, you say it seems like a beautiful day. It certainly is a beautiful day.
On the Ngala Rock?
Gorgeous. Beverly, you'd like to know if elephants are considered browsers or grazers? They're considered mixed feeders, so they do a bit of both. The telemates have been located on the junction Central and Drakensberg Road. Standing by.
I'm going to leave them open locked. Might just leave a quarry branch on the road very close to Drakensberg Junction there on Central, just south of the road there.
Okay, copy. I'm going to make my way now. I'm on Gari Cutline.
Copy. Let me know if you get them there.
Copy. Thanks so much, Nigel. Oh, it smells spring-like and makes me happy, everyone. Makes me very happy. I'm going to leave these elephants just so we can manage to see those telemates before show closes. And I'm going to send you over to Dylan in the meantime.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, cool. Yeah, I've left them there.
So nothing yet, unfortunately. The closest we've come to a cat this morning is that dismal picture. But we are not going to give up. We are heading back now to, we've just crossed down to the side where we saw that African wildcat a couple of days ago. And now we're going back to the other side where we saw the other one. So we're just going to keep on crossing between these two. We know they're here, we know they're in the area, and that's always going to offer our best opportunity of seeing them. And of course, I've also put out ears. So Veronica, meerkat habituator, she's keeping her ears to the ground. and their eyes open for any sign of them. We got tracking teams that are out. They've been notified as well. So if anyone gets any good leads, we'll be on it. Murphy's Law. No, I won't even say it. No, I won't even say it. I won't. So my comms is breaking up here, but I think the name is Christy has just asked, what is the average litter size for African wildcats? It's 2 to 3 in a litter. And again, same as we were chatting out with the meerkats, it's one thing having 3 kittens in your litter. It's another thing actually having all 3 survive until adulthood. Sorry, I just want to see that. Sorry, I'm just spotting a thing under a tree there. I think it might just be a branch or something. Wait, look, hold on. Don't go anywhere, It is definitely not an African wildcat. Sure, that was close. But we're going to get one. We are going to get one. If it's not today, it will be. We will get a wildcat for you. It's just a matter of time. Even if it's next year, or the year after, or the year after that. No, we will. No, I'm just kidding. We are going to get one, and it'll be soon. It'll be soon. The harder you practice, the luckier you get, eh? Yeah, there's my optimism coming out. But that is true. I mean, yeah, you get these lucky sightings, but the more time you spend outside, and the more effort you put into these kind of things, the greater your chances of actually finding something good.
We just left those lions. It looks like they're not going to be doing too much for the day. It is warming up. They've moved into a bit of shade and their heads are down. So what we're hoping to do is we want to go past that lioness with the young cubs and just see if they're still out in the open. If not, we'll carry on with the search. Hopefully go past some water areas, see if there's some elephants. But I think for now, that's going to be our plan. We left the rest of the pride. Maybe this afternoon we come back, see if there's any chances of them probably trying to hunt during the day. But I think very unlikely this time. There's nothing around. Looks like they might be full. And heads are down. But you just never know. I mean, lions opportunistic. Just never know what we're going to see. But in the meantime, let's head down on our new part of our adventure. See if that lioness is there. But also, as we go along, hopefully we can show you some of the interesting trees that we do find in the area, especially that Tswalu tree, because we were mentioning about it yesterday, of some of the toxic trees that you do find in the area, and hopefully being able to show everyone this particular tree. And it's going to be quite close to where that lioness is, near the river especially.
Yeah, sorry for the loss of signal over there, but it's always good having you with us, even if we're not seeing a huge amount. But it's still awesome having you along on our drives. Okay, Jean-Andre thinks he's just seen a mother wildcat with little kittens. Is it a wildcat with kittens, Jean-Andre? Doesn't seem like it. It's a bush. It's that mystical wildcat bush. But we're going to get one. I can tell you now, we are going to get one. If not on this drive, we will get one. Don't worry. And it's exciting. It's something to look forward to. And I love having these like little these target species. And it doesn't matter how common a thing is. It could be an oryx. It could be a giraffe. It could be a sengi. But something that's specific that people really, really, really want to see. I love working like it. It's also the challenge of it is trying to find these things and track them down. And you really narrow down we're not just driving aimlessly. It might seem like it, but actually there is method in our madness. You start focusing on areas where you're getting a high incidence of sightings, and the other side of that, the big pro of that is the animal in that area that you're looking for, that wildcat. It starts seeing the vehicle, even if you don't see it, it'll start hearing and seeing the vehicle more frequently, and that just makes it more and more and more relaxed. It's kind of like a long distance habituation approach that we'll take over there. But every day that cat will hear or see people or a vehicle, it just becomes that much more relaxed in the presence of them, which in turn increases our chance of having a good sighting. But what a day out here. Yeah, I'm almost thinking winter's almost over, but it's not. And yet, in 1 month's time, we're going to be going into, where are we, July, August? Yeah, 1 month's time, we're going to be going to spring again. So that's around the corner. 5 weeks, and we in spring, and then you're going to see this place transform into an absolute wonderland of blossoms. All the acacias, or whatever they call them now, Senegalias, Vachelias, they're going to be in full blossom. It's going to be creams and whites and pinks, yellow. And then the three thorns, if we get our first shower of rain, all these little three thorn bushes are going to be flowering, and then you're going to see masses of fields of flowers. It's going to be absolutely gorgeous. You won't even recognize it. Yeah, exciting times lie ahead. And an African wildcat lies ahead. We should pause when we see one. Tammy says that sounds heavenly, and it really, you'll see it when you'll believe it when you see it. I promise you, this place is an absolute wonderland after the first rains. Yeah. Trish is chatting about how Djuma is going to be changing with the change of the seasons. So let's see what she's got to say about that.
It is going to be changing soon, but I'm so glad that so many of the trees have kept their green because we had such a wonderful rainy season, wet season. I am just... So there's nobody with the telematis, or at least there was nobody there at our last update that you heard when I was at the elephants. So we're going to have to keep our eyes peeled, see if we can find them. Just south. So we are heading south. I don't see any tracks at the moment. So we're going to have to... So we're going to just have to go around and maybe check again in a bit. Okay. Alright, let's see if we can turn around quickly, and then we will be able to find them. Sorry guys, there's somebody talking to me at the same time you're talking to me, and I'm trying to tell them I can't talk to you. They're also trying to find them, the lions. I saw a small gap where there were heaps and heaps of tracks. I'd love for you to be with me when we... Emma, the voices were not in my head. The voices were not in my head, I promise. I would like you to, it's just that it's nice for us to see exactly how difficult it is to spot lions sometimes. Just south on Central. This is Central right now. That's Junction Drakensberg. There's a whole heaps of tracks here. Thank you so much. Sorry, I was live. I did tell them I had to chat to you through. See? Give them some credit there. I wanted to have a chat. Alright. Looks like they may be ahead of us here. Oops. Sorry. Theo, you still there? There is the most precious Avoca. Let's just pop ourselves here. The dark maned Avoca is just stunning. Absolutely stunning. Look at him. Very interesting. So the Nkahumas have moved off the property. And the Talamati are here. They're actually on Central Road, not on Drakensberg. And that's pretty close. They're further east of the junction with Ngala Road South-North and Central. But this is about... No. I have seen tracks of them closer, but I haven't seen them themselves this close into Djuma. This pride I haven't seen a lot. I told you before. The only time before last night that I saw them was once previously. And that was just on the junction of Gari Cutline and Buffelshoek boundary. It was very brief. So it's nice to actually get to know them. And Critifi Ifrik, you say, what a wonderful last-minute Leo sighting. Indeed. Panthera Leos all around today. We should count how many lions we've had in total this show, because I kept getting updates about lions from Emma. And we should have 15 here. All of you excited to see Darkmane again? I am too. He is just stunning, stunning, stunning male. And that dark mane is an indication of his genetic health, his actual body health, the level of testosterone coursing through him, and all of those things are just very tasty to the females. What a stunner. And he has such a thick, lovely mane. Oh, well, our lion cubs here are quite old. Or rather, they were before the Nkahuma cubs. So they're harder to tell them apart. But NIKKI has some lion cubs that are a little younger.
I'm so glad that TRISHALA was able to find the private lions. I know her and Raymond were really looking hard for them. So I'm very excited for them. And then as we came down into the river, as we said, on our way back towards the camp, we decided, let's just go past the lioness with the youngsters, just see if they're still there. And basically they've moved out into this little open patch. And just enjoying that sun. But have a look at how big the paws and the ears are for this little lion cub. And eventually to know that, just judging by the color, it looks like it might be the young male. He's a lot lighter and a bit more grey in color in comparison to that of the female. And imagine now in 2.5, maybe 3 years' time, how big he's going to be in comparison to his sister or even his mother. But for now, still very small. But those feet and the ears, but the feet are going to grow quite a bit, and eventually it's going to look like his feet are way too big for his body, but he'll grow into that. Painter Girl, definitely a bundle of cuteness. It's probably one of the most adorable. They're like little lion cubs, little cheetah cubs, and elephants. Probably one of my favorite when it comes to the little ones. No, that's the young female that's lying down. You can actually notice that little patch of hair that's missing and on her back near the base of the tail. And of course, this young male here is just picking up his head, making sure that mum and sister are safe from any potential danger. That's what he's thinking. I can just imagine in his heart he's trying to be brave, but still very young. But I do enjoy the colors, the different shades, especially the white around the eyes. Look how prominent it is in this young male. And even that white patch on the chin and above the nose, or under the nose. And you notice, even with the ears, like a little bit of a light tinge in the middle. And then on the rims, it has that beautiful golden brown color, and then a little bit of black behind the ears. And he knows we're talking about him. Just wow, but this was an absolutely amazing find just to be able to see them again here. But while these are probably going to eventually head into the shade and lie down for the day, like that one just did now, let's send you across to TRISHALA.
That sounds like a great idea. I would also love to visit these lions in the afternoon. That's why it's so awesome to go out in the morning and find these beautiful creatures. Especially when they're predators, they're unlikely to move too much once the heat of the day comes along. I think that SABC needs to see Darkmane because he is magnificent, absolutely beautiful. Yes, you. You are looking so good. In fact, all these lions are looking so good. Oh. Look at that mane. He looks like he deserves to be on a stamp or something. On a coin. There we go. An ancient Roman coin. That's what you deserve to be on. an ancient Greek coin, Athenian owl on one side, and an evoker male on the other side. Just beautiful, beautiful lion puddle. Look at that gorgeous blue skies, the smell of spring, lions, elephants, gorgeous little things. We've just had an amazing, amazing morning out. I'm so glad to have shared it with all of you. So a few last glimpses and our Talamati pride, and of course our dark mane evoker. And then of course you know what time it is. Breakfast time for us, and time to say goodbye to you all. So thank you for your questions and your comments. Please come through and jump on board for Sunset Safari. See you later.